Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Today, Tecnifibre TF40 305 16x19 version 3. Oh. Stay tuned.
Oh my gosh.
Harry, you played well.
Thank you, Coach. Been feeling really good lately.
That second set, you really came alive. What was it? Strings? Grip? Shoes? What?
It's actually this electrolyte mix from my friends at RTP called Second Wind.
Wow.
I pop that into my water bottle, shake it up, and I'm good to go.
Wow.
That's my other win.
All right, guys. So French engineered, China made. Yeah, engineered and designed in France, as it says. TF40 305 16x19. 98 square inch head. So interestingly, we actually love these rackets a lot in the previous generation. Yeah, 98 square inch head. Yeah, Coach Good loved the heavier one a little bit more, the 315. Let's take a look at the specs of the 305. The weight strung with what we'll keep confidential, and the overgrip 325. The balance is 330. Swing weight is 329. 98 square inch head, and as I said, 16x19. So a little bit different here. There's more balance here, and there's more swing weight here versus the 315, which tells me that there's more weight in the head. Interesting. So there's going to be a little more plow in this one. Yeah, you can feel it. It's not as quick of a head as the 315. So there is weight here through here. So it's going to lead. It feels like it's leading here, and then it's finishing here. Interesting. It's kind of like the T-Fight 305, the way that thing's built, where it leads with the throat and finishes with the head. I wonder if that's really how it's going to feel, though. Well, let's go test it out. See you on the court.
All right, Coach Chris and I just got off the court. New TF40 version 3. What'd you think?
Again, I feel like a lot of rackets are coming out with some kind of camo-ish type design. I like the aesthetic of it. The Tecnifibre TF, and making it into a kind of a camo thing that you have going on. It's a pretty cool design. I liked it. This is, again, a racket that's pretty easy to get a lot of power with. That was the biggest thing. I hit one ball and it was like, whoa, it just was flying. So you got to definitely rein it in a little bit. It's got good control too, but after you kind of swing and learn how to play with it, it's a pretty fun racket to play with. This would be a really good one for those club level players, maybe some juniors too. And I think if anything, this probably reminds me of a little bit of a Strike too as well. I mean, the Tecnifibers, the rackets in general, these ones, they remind me a little bit of those, that kind of mold and feel. Overall, good racket. I think it's quite good. And yeah, definitely for sure, you guys should check this one out.
Yeah, we strung it at 52 pounds with what I always like to keep confidential. And it was flying a little bit here. Like when Coach Chris tried it before me, and he was like launching it, even on the feed. I'm like, what is going on here? And he's like, it's getting away from me. So I'm like, oh, interesting. So it's got more power than we were anticipating because it took us, you know, a few minutes to kind of rein it in. It really was very launchy. The angle was actually like straight up. And if you did not, you know, like take a full cut, you know, straight up, it wasn't going to come down because there's just, the angle was just kind of so great and it had so much power, which we were not expecting. After that, we kind of figured it out and it kind of started diving. Flattening it out was easy. It was just easier power than we really anticipated. So great update. Much more easier to play with, which is what we were not anticipating.
Yeah.
Coach Chris, thank you for doing this test with me. We're gonna have Goo on this next. So where can they find you?
You can find me at CB Chen Tennis.
And
That's
it. All right, off to Goo. All right, so Coach Goo on the Tecnifibre TF40 305 1619.
Yes.
What'd you think?
Kind of felt a little familiar because I used to play with this racket. And you know why. I think this racket, this 305, I remember trying the first version of the 305. We both had some opinion about it. But this version, this update to, I think this is a version 2, right? I believe.
3.
A 3,
They're
okay.
up to
Version
3.
3 now. But this version 3 did feel a lot better, in my opinion. I think from my version to this version, this was a great refresh. I think the racket itself is playable. In my opinion, it's easy to play with, and it's weighted well. That's the first thing I was really shocked about with the 305. I remember that version that I played with was a little light. It was a little light on the. It was handle heavy and a really light head. But this time, this ball actually, when you hit it did definitely launch a lot more. I was really shocked of how much power it gave. But you felt every ounce of it. That was the great part about it. Usually when we were playing with this before, it didn't have that nice feel, that launching feel, but you do feel it with this racket overall. If you guys are using the TF40 and looking for the new one, I would highly suggest this one. If you're looking for a little more pop, this would be the one for sure.
Yeah, 52 pounds, what we want to call confidential.
Yep.
And definitely too much power still. So either you got to commit to a little more spin or string it a little tighter.
Yep.
Perhaps a little thicker string would help too.
Or put up the pounds a little more.
Yeah.
But like I said, like for this racket and recalling what I played with when I used this racket, it's a great update. I mean, it is.
I totally agree with you.
It is really such a well-designed racket all the way around. Great feel, great weight distribution all the way around, and they stayed true with the power, but now this time you could really feel the power behind it.
Totally. They foamed it up, but it doesn't feel that way.
It doesn't, yeah. I was surprised that you told me that there was foam, because I remember the last one did have foam. I think it did have foam.
A little deader.
But it did feel dead and less of the feel behind it.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, they did a good job.
So guys, looking for a little bit more power in a control stick, TF40 305 1619, definitely recommend it for you.
Definitely.
Coach Goo, where can we find you?
You find me at HG.tennis. Also be posting content there as well.
All right, guys, thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis.